Okay. I know this one's late, but I had some family issues to deal with as well as the holidays, so didn't really have the time to do this. But anyways, I did promise to put this video out, so here it is. This is my video on the Akbolto Prime. Okay, that out of the way, let's get started. Oh, kia ora! Hello, and welcome to this video on the Akbolto Prime. I'm in the same situation as the Kogake Prime. This one, I'm not really that. I'm not going to be surprised if the new friendly build is going to be glossed over, but with the so I'm going to be focusing on the other two setups because this thing has a mastery rank lock of 13, and in all honesty, I'm kind of not surprised considering how strong this thing is. But in the same vein, I'm just going to quickly gloss over the new friendly setup, maybe show off how it works, and then quickly move on to the other two setups. I'm going to start with my new friendly setup. So we've got Hornet Strike, Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent, Expel Corrupted on the bottom row, and with regards to the Expel mod, that's there because it adds more raw damage, and because, in all honesty, I find it better than say, Magnum Force, and the Expel mods are easier to get a hold of, with the exception of the Expel Corrupted coming from Defection missions. And in the top row, we've got Heated Charge, Target Cracker, Pistol Gambit, and Convulsion. The reason I'm running Radiation is because these two mods will become readily available, and most armored targets, and quite a few armored targets, are weak against radiation damage. Sorry, I almost said corrosive. Well, the same can be said for corrosive, but in the case of newts, radiation would be the better option because getting something like Infected Clip or Fever Strike, one of those two mods comes from a junction, and I don't think you can get it very early on unless it somehow drops from a Fisher or from any random mission, or if you just join a particular mission that drops it by any chance. But anyways, I think I'll just show this build off real quick. I had to put a couple of Forma on because, like, with the one Forma setup I had, I could not fit the build I had, so, well, the builds I had in mind, so just grab Billy the Bombard and maybe a Corrupted Heavy Gunner. With Billy the Bombard, yeah, that's probably one of the more extreme circumstances, but I just figured I'll show Heavy Gunner since that's one of those two are the toughest units in the game. I'm using Nova, but I'm not going to be using her 4, unless, of course, I'm curious how much it improves it. As you see, these guys are level 100, which is pretty much on average what you would see on the sorties, and it's doing fairly well. And it's fairly accurate too, so you could get headshots very easily with this thing. Now with the Corrupted Bombard, this is where it's going to shine the most, because these guys are weak against radiation damage. As you can see, that took, those were level 100, and that did fairly well. So, that doesn't mean this new friendly set is weak. In fact, it can easily carry you through the Scout Shot and the Sorties, but, like I said earlier, this thing has a Mastery Rank lock of 13 with the same Mastery Rank lock as the Tiger's Prime and Galatine Prime. So, unless you happen to buy Prime Access, or if you're looking at this way in the future when this thing's bolted and it's been unbolted, those two are the only ways you're ever going to get this weapon if you're below Mastery Rank 13. So, yeah, that's pretty much the new friendly build. Now onto the second Dream setup. Now, unlike the new friendly setup, this one's going to be running corrosive damage. So, and the Prime mods are here just because this is going to be the most extreme, and you might be likely to bump into Barricade tier with these mods if you're lucky. So, or you might be able to find someone who's giving it away dirt cheap or something like that. A lot of variables can affect this. So, anyways, moving on. First up, we got Hornet Strike as always. That's pretty much a mandatory mod. Barrel Diffusion and Lethal Turret for multi-shot. Pathogen rounds for toxin and Convulsion for electricity damage to combine into corrosive damage. Then we have Prime Target Cracker and Prime Pistol Gambit for critical damage and critical chance respectively. and then hydraulic crosshairs, which you get from Pavlov on Lua. If you don't know how to do that spy mission, I'm thinking of showing off because before you actually get to where you can farm this, you would have done a quest known as the Limbo Theorem, which will drop a Warframe that I actually quite like using for Corpus and Corpus spy missions, Infested, and Lua. So I might show how I do that, and maybe some ways you could sort of get through the puzzles on Pavlov. Anyways, moving on. And for this one, I'm gonna kick up the level from 100 to 155, just so you can see how, like, even though this isn't this build setup would still do very good. So, start with the bombard. I'll just let that heavy gunner go trigger happy on from behind me. The bombard is going to be stronger this time around because of the fact that I'm using corrosive over irradiation, but that will be the opposite case for the heavy gunner. So you can see, they still go down fairly quickly, so you wouldn't have to worry too much about that. But that was the second dream setup. Now on to my veteran / personal setup. I'm pretty much running a same element, except I'm also, instead of using hydraulic crosshairs, I'm using Scorch for heat damage. So that way I've got extra status chance, and I still got a good crit. Anyways, the rest of the mods are pretty much the same as the second dream setup, except for the dual stats. So I'm using Hornet Strike, Prime Pistol Gambit, and Prime Target Cracker, Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Turret. Then I'm using Jolt and Pistol Pestilence, and that's giving me 75.2% status chance, and it's adding extra damage because of heat. So let's show this off. It's gonna be, because I'm gonna be proccing corrosive more often, both are gonna be slightly weaker than before, so, or like they'll go down a bit quicker. So you can see it's doing fairly well. The damage is ramping up because of the corrosive damage, and the crit multiplier is kicking in, helping this thing really well. See, this heavy gunner, they all go down fairly quickly. Now, I'm actually kind of curious about something. I've been meaning to test this weapon out with Banshee because of the fact that this is a very good crit weapon, and it also has status chance on top of that. So let's give this a shot, shall we? I've been thinking, since we have Billy the Bombot as a nickname for these guys, I was thinking maybe Henrietta the Heavy Gunner. I don't know, it's just, something doesn't sit right with that. I'll just stick with this calling them Heavy Gunners for now. Yep, it definitely helps big time. Anyways, that's my video on the Akbolto Prime. I'm going to be doing the weapons I suspect are going to be unbolted soon. And, oh, one more thing. I know damage 2.5 might change this, but with my builds, I'm trying to avoid using mods that like take advantage of the features of damage 2.0. So, like, for example, mods like Hunter Munitions and that sort of thing. So, and I'm also going to avoid using the physical elemental mods, with some exceptions, like, say, the Tiger's Prime. But anyways, that's it for my Akbolto Prime video. Hope you liked it, and I'm also going to work on Soma Prime, Basso Prime, Skinner Prime, Haiku Prime, and Bow Prime shortly afterwards. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.